Har Mahadeva Bhola Baba Om Namah Shivaya Har Mahadeva Bhola Baba.
Namaste, Sitaram, a pleasant good morning. Welcome to Rudraaya. I'm your host, Nisha Sharma, and Rudraaya is being brought to you with the kind compliments of Maharudradev Mandir. And of course, our Mandir is located at 850 Tapscott Road, Unit 34 in Scarborough, with Tapscott and McNichol being our closest intersection. So over the past few weeks, I have been reminding you that Shivratri is coming up soon. And this is the weekend before that very auspicious night of Shivratri. So please remember that Shivratri will be celebrated on March 11th. And I do hope that you are making special preparations to do your special worship to Lord Shiva on this very auspicious evening of Shivratri. So throughout the program today, I will be providing you more information on the importance of the worship of Lord Shiva. For now, we'll join our spiritual leader, Pandit Ravi Sharma, for our pravachan. Enjoy.
Bhagwan Shivji plays upon also the Damaru. And the song that comes with some Damaru is like dim 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 and so forth. Or dum dum dum. Or some say bum bum bum. Also. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam. Hey Bam 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 Bam. Bam 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 Shiva Bam 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 Shiva Bam Bam Bam. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. Hare Gaur ye naam radam jab tak ye bhai dam ne dam bol Shiva Shiva Shambhu bam 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 bol Shiva Shiva Shambhu bam bam. He Pralayangara Vimavayangara He Prabhu Shankar Swami. O He Prabhu Shankar Swami. He Vishveshwar He Parameshwar Ishwar Antaryami. O Ishwar Antaryami. Idun He Uttam Anupam चार जग के यही पिता परम बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम बम बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम बम बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम 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 शिव अकाम है दया दाम है शिव का नाम है संयम शिव का नाम है संयम शिव जी है मुक्ति शिव जी है शक्ति शिव जी भक्ति का संगम शिव जी क्या भक्ति का संगम शिव महिमा मत समझो हम मिट जाएंगे हम दुनिया के हम बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम बम बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम 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 बोलो शिव शिव शंभु bam bam bam. Let me see who won first prize. Which movie does song come up from? It come up from an Indian movie. Nana, I hear somebody say just song. Huh? Guys, the movie, exactly. You see the movie? I guess. You see the movie? You know, it tells us that how where the Tripuras, where these Rakshas and them, they came and they took jurisdiction over Swarga. And so Indra, Varuna, everyone. And so all of these devas now under a captive. They were captive, held captive now, against their will. And so they are calling upon the different forms of the Lord. And they call upon Lord Ganesh too, and Lord Ganesh comes and he comes to rescue them when they call upon him. But as they called upon him in such manner also, these Tripurasura, they came and they gave Ganesh a whole bunch of laddu. And Ganesh just began to eat more and more and more and more and more. And as he began to eat more and more and more, he began to feel sleepy. And so he fell asleep. And so now the devas were leading to Ganesh, wake up and wake up. But he is unable. And Narji comes and he says, Atho, call upon Bhagwan Shankar. And so as he calls upon Bhagwan Shivji in such manner, that immediately when he began to say, Bam 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 Shiva Bam Bam Bam, then Ganeshji immediately wakes up. And so Bhagwan Shivji sends his Trishul as he comes immediately towards to rescue these devas and everyone. And so Ganeshji comes and he plays upon these kartal, this manjira. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam, Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam, Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam, Bam 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 Shiva Bam 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 Shiva Bam Bam Bam, Bam 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 Shiva Bam 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 Shiva Bam Bam Bam, Hey Bam 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 Shiva Bam 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 Shiva Bam Bam Bam, Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam, Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam, Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam, Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. We just invite you to join us together as we make our invocation prayers. We're about to begin our second prayer, our worship. That's all merit upon Bhagwan Shivji. Om Vande Devo Mapatim Surugurum Vande Jagat Karanam Vande Panagabhushanam Mrigadaram Vande Pashunam Padim Vande Surya Shashanka Vanhinayanam Vande Mukunda Priyam Vande Bhakta Janarchavardam Vande Shivam Shankaram. Om Shri Vishnur Vishnur Namaha Paramatmane Shri Purana Purushottamaya Pravartamanasya Brahmano Dvitya Pahararde Shri Shvetavaraha Kalpe Vaivasvat Manavantare Ashtavinshatirame Kalyuge Kali Pratam Charne Surya Uttar Kumarika Chetre Shalika Vahana Chetre Gauri Mukhe Triganti Virajate Buddha Avatare Tanama Samvatsare Mukkaine Mahamangala Prade Falgunamase Krishna Pakshahe Trayodashi Chaturdashi Punya Namade Shrimgadvitya Pahar Puja Me Shri Amukha Gotrotapanna, please everyone take a name, take family's name. Shri Amukha Yajmanasya Shri Mukha Deva Pujam Shri Lingeshwara Bhagwan Ji Pujanam Anavastradanam Bhagwan Sada Shiva Shankar Pritiyartam Maham Karishye. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Bolo Shankar Bhagwan ki jai.
My dear viewers, I hope you've enjoyed this morning's pravachan, and of course, as I remind you that on March 11th, we will be celebrating Shivratri. And of course, just to let you know that, and I'm sure that many of you already know this, but the deity, Lord Shiva, is one of the deity that is so easy to please. You know, Lord Shiva has a heart, you know, that just melts when his devotees pray to him and worship him. And whatever desires or whatever you're going through in your life at this time, Lord Shiva will be there to comfort you, to uplift you. So please remember to perform special prayer on that auspicious night of Shivratri. We'll now join our own Dr. Sachin Ramkisoon for our health segment.
Sitaram and welcome to Health Corner. I am Dr. Sachin Ramkisoon, and today is the third in our four-part series on hypertension. Last week we discussed what hypertension is, the risk factors for developing it, and the very important health consequences of high blood pressure. Today we are discussing how blood pressure is measured and how you can do this at home to keep track of your own readings and play a more active role in your own health. As we discussed in our last episode, the normal blood pressure is less than 140 as the top number and less than 90 as the bottom number. It varies depending on the situation, as the blood pressure increases in certain situations and is lower in others. Blood pressure increases in times of stress, emotional upset, being nervous, or with certain activity or foods. This is a natural rise of blood pressure that is temporary, as the pressure will return to normal when that condition is over. In addition to this rise and fall in certain conditions, there's a natural daily rise and fall of the blood pressure. It is lowest in the late night or early morning hours, and then rises throughout the morning to peak in the afternoon. This can vary about 10 to 15 points, which can be a considerable difference. This rhythmic rise and fall of the blood pressure is predictable and important to know, since the time of the day your blood pressure is taken may actually affect the reading. Physicians do not diagnose high blood pressure on a single blood pressure reading, since blood pressure is designed to rise and fall in various situations. It requires about 5 separate readings that are all consistently high before a diagnosis of high blood pressure is made. This also means that if you are diagnosed with high blood pressure and told to monitor your blood pressure readings, that one single reading does not give you an accurate picture. Instead, you need multiple blood pressure readings to get the most accurate picture of your blood pressure control. The best method is to record your blood pressure at home with a certified blood pressure monitor, and record these readings in a summary that you can then take with you when doing your checkup with your own family physician. Home blood pressure monitoring should be done by anyone who's diagnosed with high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, or kidney disease, or anyone who is pregnant, elderly, or suspected of having white coat syndrome, which is where the blood pressure goes up in the doctor's office due to being nervous. There are many blood pressure monitors available, but it should use a cuff that goes around the upper arm, not around the wrist or fingers, since these are less accurate. The cuff should also have the right size for your arm, or the readings may not be as accurate. Because of the natural variation in blood pressure at different times of the day, you should measure it at the same time every day. Try to avoid drinking tea or coffee 1 hour prior to checking your blood pressure, as this can elevate the reading. Sit upright in a chair with your arm on the table at the level of your heart, and then record 2 or 3 readings 1 minute apart. Record the blood pressure measurements, the heart rate, and the date and time of day. These readings will give the most accurate picture of what your blood pressure is, and is valuable to your physician when actually doing a checkup. When checking at home, if the blood pressure is higher than 180 as the top number, or 110 as the lower number, then you should see your physician immediately for an assessment. By understanding how our blood pressure changes and how we can accurately measure it at home, we can take a more active role in monitoring and controlling our own blood pressure. Next week, we will discuss what we can do to treat hypertension so we do not experience the serious health consequences associated with it. Thank you for joining me on Health Corner, and I look forward to speaking with you next week on Rudraaya.
मोर भोले चकोर भोले आज राधा की नैनों में शाम ढोली मोर भोले चकोर भोले आज राधा की नैनों में शाम ढोली मोर भोले चकोर भोले शाम मेरे फीके फीके लकीरों का गजरा यही मेरी सुनी सुनी बगियों का गजरा शाम मेरे भोले। आज मेरे मन की लगन रंग लाई, प्यार का संदेश भी संग संग लाई। आज मेरे मन की लगन रंग लाई, प्यार का संदेश भी संग संग लाई। मेरे बगिया में छम छम बहार भोले, और भोले चकोर भोले। आज राधा की नैनों में शाम ढोले, और भोले चकोर भोले। आज राधा की नैनों में शाम ढोले, और भोले चकोर भोले।
My dear viewers, we are now at the corporate segment, so I'd like to introduce you to our host for the corporate segment, Kamalji from Lotus Funeral Home.
Sitaram and Namaste. My name is Kamal Bardwaj and I'm the owner of Lotus Funeral and Cremation Center in Toronto and Kitchener Funeral Homes and Crematorium in Kitchener. I'm also a licensed funeral director. It is not difficult to understand why conversations about death are hard. This is the second part of our discussion about funerals and death as a taboo subject. No one wants to think about the time when they will no longer be here or when a loved one will no longer be here. Here's just a couple of reasons why I think it is vital to talk about your funeral. You have input about your final wishes. In line with ensuring your wishes are met, pre-planning your funeral allows you to have a say about what you would like to happen on the day. Remove the stress and burden of planning a funeral from your loved ones. The day after a loved one passes away, it's always incredibly hard no matter what the circumstances. Knowing the final farewell has already been arranged and can have an enormous comfort at a difficult time. At Lotus Funeral and Cremation Center and at Kitchener Funeral Homes and Crematorium, we operate 7 days a week and 24 hours a day. Our crematorium is located in our building, so we never have to leave our building in cold or bad weather for a cremation. Our crematorium space can have a large group of people to attend the witnessing for the cremation as well. For Hindu families, we can provide all the puja items, including fresh leaves and a havan kund. We have large halls that can accommodate large seating to smaller ones. We are centrally located for families in the west and families from the east. For more information, please contact me from the telephone number on the screen. Thank you for watching and see you next week on Rudraaya. Sitaram.
Life is beautiful, but death is inevitable. I realized this when my dad passed away. So much pain, and amidst all this, the worry of arranging a funeral. Thankfully, in all this, Kamal stood by me. From the viewing to the cremation, he arranged it all at one location. Once someone is gone, they don't come back. But Lotus Funeral Home knows how to give them a respectable farewell.
Lotus Funeral Home. Life must be celebrated.
तेरे मेरे मिलन की ये रना हो, तेरे मेरे मिलन की ये रना। नया कोई गुल खिलाएगी, नया कोई गुल खिलाएगी, तभी तो चंचल है तेरे नैना। देखो ना, देखो ना, तेरे मेरे मिलन की ये रना। जैसे खेले चंदा बादल में, खिलेगा वो तेरे आंचल में। देखो ना तेरे मेरे मिलन की ये रैना। तुझे थामे कई हाथों से, मिलूंगा मधुभरी रातों से।
My dear viewers, we've come to the end of another segment of Rudraaya. I hope you've enjoyed today's segment, and I do remind you that on March 11th we celebrate Shivratri, and of course in your home, in your own way, with your family. Please do make preparations to celebrate that auspicious night of Shivratri. I know that it's a night that we all come to the mandir and we do, special puja, and we have jagran all night at the mandir until the next morning. And of course, I know it's hard for you to perform this prayer at home, waking the whole night, just by yourself. But please do at least do one special prayer during the night of Shivratri, and I'm sure that you will attain the blessings just similar to if you were here right here in the mandir with us, spending that entire night worshipping Lord Shiva. Because as I remind you, Lord Shiva's heart melts when his devotees worship him. So please remember March 11th. I'd like to thank our kind sponsors at Maharudraaya Mandir, as well as our executive producer Gary Khan for making Rudraaya possible. And so until we meet again, we will be thinking about you during our special prayer right here at Maharudraaya Mandir. We will be meeting a small group of us, limited to 5, to do special puja upon the lingam and to worship Lord Shiva on this very auspicious night. So during that evening, we will say a prayer for all of you. Please also do say a prayer for us as well. So until we meet again next week, stay safe, have a blessed week. Namaste.
Hara 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 Jai Shiva Jai Shiva Jai Shiva Shankara Jai Shiva Jai Shiva Jai Shiva Shankara Hara 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 Jai Jai Shiva Jai Shiva Shankara Rudraaya Mara Dvaitya Gocharam Rudraaya Mara Dvaitya Gocharam Hara 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 Shiva Shiva Shankara गंगा गले हिमाला सिर पर गंगा गले हिमाला हर 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 जय जय शिव शंकर मृग में ज्वाला मृग में ज्वाला में गाला हर 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 जय जय शिव शंकर जय श्री लाला परम कृपाला जय श्री लाला परम कृपाला